Welcome back, beautiful souls. It's the Soldier of Light reporting for duty, and I have with me like our usual guests, Mr. Dennis, the King of Cups. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Joe Rocco, or Jay the Rockstar Rocco, as everyone knows him. Thank you for coming on, and we also have a brand new guest today that's sharing, coming to our beautiful family. This is my teacher. This is the person that kind of got my journey started. Her name is Min Chao. And she's really helped me kind of grow into what I was to this day. I said, honestly, I feel like she was a big springboard for me. And we just literally talked about past lives. And literally, she mentioned something to me again today. She does past life regressions, all this beautiful stuff that I thought was mumbo jumbo when I was younger and when I first met her. And when I actually, like I mentioned in my previous shows with before, is the moment I met her, my energy was connected to her, and I knew for right away that there was something to her. And when I watched her do a healing and energy healing on my mom had bad cellulitis and bad legs. We had to carry her almost into into the office, exactly.
Wow.
And she did like an hour session with my mom, and she didn't do much. She just energy cleared her. By the time she was done with the energy, my mom's legs were no longer fire red. They were light pink, and my mom could walk
Wow.
within the hour. And I was
That's
like,
saying
okay,
something, yeah.
there's something to, and I'm getting goosebumps and my hair standing up right now telling me this.
Yeah.
And
They're talking to me.
Okay.
and when it came down to it, honestly, and then I was like, she's like, this is all energy. This is something with, all these energy. We have angels around us and guides and all these things. And I was sitting there, I was like, really? I was like, how did you learn this? So I started asking her questions while she was taking care of my mom afterwards. And she started kind of telling me, this is what I do. I also teach. I attune students. This is what I've been doing. This is what my mission is to do here. And I was like, oh, well, I'd be interested. She goes, we'd be interested in learning this. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. So I did her class. I paid for class. And the good thing is she took me privately. I was on a private lesson with her instead of the groups that she usually does. And when she started doing these classes with me, she did 3 attunements on me. And I honestly, if you've heard me before, when by the third attunement, when it's the final one, it was so powerful. I got done and I felt I was dizzy. It was almost like I was riding a roller coaster. She just didn't touch me. She was just doing energy, and I was just like, oh, and it was so powerful to me. Like it's resonated with my soul. So I knew something from that. And from that point on, honestly, I started looking at things differently. I feel like that was a huge turning point for me, and it's kind of brought me to where I am today. And the universe is so amazing that she's gone her way all over the United States. I've gone my way all over the United States. And guess what? Spirit has brought us back together. Recently, she moved back to Illinois. I moved back to Illinois, and I've been very blessed to have her on the show. So I want
That's
to
awesome.
actually, if you would like, Min Chao, if you just want to kind of talk a little bit, just a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself from your perspective for the people who would love to get to know you. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much for being on.
Okay, thank you. You were so kind, Jason. And actually, you had the gift yourself, and I just tap into yours and to help to open you up. We come here for a mission to do here, and sometimes we just show exactly what we want, and that's all we get. But a lot of time we want to do something else first, and then the gift that you have to lay dormant in your stomach, and wait for the right time, the right teacher to come and tap into you and open you up. And some of my students were so amazed, how could this happen? But I tell them that's their gift, and I just help them to do that. And I actually I'm from Vietnam, but I came here many years ago. I was educated here, and I also went to medical school. But when I got into medical school, I just realized it wasn't for me, and though I worked so hard to get there.
Mhm.
And a lot of medication, and I feel that they just give you medication to help you, not really um, help you as you expect them to do to you. And so then I received a message to do these energy healing, but I didn't know much about. And although I did shiatsu massage and I heal a lot of people, and through that massage, and I also do personal training. and I trained a lot of people, help them to get better, but I didn't know what it was. And then I did get thrown into the energy healing, and all of a sudden, one day I went to the store and to wish the lady, Happy New Year. And then she asked me if I receive anything to do with the dragon. I say, why? And she said, did you somebody give something with the dragon? I said, yeah, the dragon incense. And she said, are you gonna burn it? I said, should I? She said, why don't you try? And I came home and I burned the incense. And then next day I just totally freaked out because oh no, I've been working with the Saint Germain, with the purple light, and so I just said I can't do this. So I burned the purple light for this, Saint Germain, and almost the dragon picture appeared. That really totally freaked me out. I don't have a candle right now. They still in Ohio, and that ever since the thing that did happen, and then I see some people that they guide me through my journey. And I had one of my lay boyfriend. He died, but he was the one who really helped me through the journey. And then he passed. He passed, and then his spirit to guide me through it after 11 months after he passed. And so that here I am. And then I received a message from Archangel Metatron. The back in the 8 years, I don't remember exactly. I think 2008, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is also medium psychic. So he asked me to get a paper and pen to write. I say, write what? And he said, because Archangel Metatron here with the what do you call it, Archangel Zadkiel. So I said, what did he give to me? He said he doesn't know. So just write it down. And then he gave me a new chakra raise. I say, why? He say, because the Mother Earth, she didn't get mad at us. So she moved up to the next dimension, that is 4 dimensions. So in order for us to do healing efficiently, we need to have the new rays. And in that 7th ray, we also receive the 8th rays above the crown chakra. So I believe this is the very first time ever we have that. And so I received a message, to write a book. And it took me many years to write this because I didn't understand why he gave it to me. Mm-hmm. And then during the pandemic, so I received a message to write a book. Actually, I wanted to write a book about the communication with other side. But during the 3rd session with the company, with publisher I work with, and I received a message through my meditation with them. I had to write this book because they told me the way overdue. I get to do it now, today, not tomorrow, or 6 months from today. But that's what happened, and I wrote that book. And I just would like to let people know that what I do. And yesterday, when Jason sent me a text, I was just so touched that he said that it's time for the world to get to know me, that who I am.
Exactly, yeah.
So I mean, I knew I had to do this a while ago, but 2 years ago when I get the book out. But I feel very, shy away from the social media because,
Same here.
But, so I keep praying. I say maybe one day somebody will come to help me out. I need somebody to really hold my hand, to guide me through this. And my daughter, she's an actress. She had a lot of, do a lot of video, but of course she's too busy for me. And so when Jason sent to me, I just like, oh my God, is this real here? And so here I am, and I'm, so I hope I can reach out more people and teach them classes and to open their what do you call it, their gift, if that's something they want to do. And I hope we can do that further.
As soon as you say open others' gifts, my ears got so much pressure and ringing in them. Wow. Okay.
What does that mean?
So I'm getting something that tells me that's very strong. The energy is very strong. That's what they want. And I feel like that was a big thing for us, is divinely, as we mentioned this in many of our shows, guys, that we are divinely pulled together. I'm getting so many goosebumps right now. Like Joe, meeting Joe, just talk. I've never met you guys in person. Meeting Dennis, my energies with you guys just clicks. It's beautiful. It's like very connected. And I feel like we've kind of helped each other along in our journeys as well, grow. And I feel like, funny thing is, we just talked about past life regressions, and I mentioned her, Min Chao. She does those. She's very, very gifted. And she told me when I first met her, you're psychic. You're psychic. You have gifts. You just need to open them. And I mean, I've always been told this too. So I was like, but I was afraid of it. That's a true story. I'm not going to lie and say I wasn't. I was afraid of this, to open this, because I knew when I open this, the good comes, but also dark comes around it, because you're in. So this is what we talk about. And I feel like more people, all you beautiful people who come and watch these videos, come to these shows, this is what it's about. And it's helping others to open their gifts so we can help others. It's a chain reaction. And I feel like the best person, when I thought about channeling spirit, that came to my mind was her. She taught me how to start to get into that. So, and I just wanted to, and I honestly, I literally heard spirit say, it's time for her, the world, to know her, because it's true. And I feel like that's why I wanted to share her with you guys. And that's why I feel like this is something we've been doing more of, connecting to spirit. And when it comes jewelry, is how can we connect with your beautiful guest? I added her description in the description box. I added the her book, as well as she has a Facebook group for healing. And then from there, we're actually talking about doing something moving forward. Her and I possibly doing attunements and energy classes. She could run them, things like that. And we do, because I do healings, and I got my energy healings from her and gifts from her, as far as opening them. So I feel like she could do so many beautiful things for a lot of you guys. So I feel like that's something that Min Chao, she's quiet. I always told you, she's real tiny, but the energy around her is so strong. I mean, honestly, I'm almost in awe of her. At 73, man, she's kicking butt and taking names, man. It's so amazing. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. But yeah, I'll put the descriptions in the box for her, anything to get a hold of her. And of course, you guys always know you can email me on my site, and then I have a direct contact to her. So we're going to look after to move forward. Possibly, I'm going to do a poll, see if anyone would be interested in taking those attunement classes and things like that. So that's something we wanted to do. I feel like she is a conduit from the divine, and I'm only telling you that. She's not from here. I promise you that. She's not from here. So, and I wish that you guys could sit with me with the energy earlier when she did my reattunement before this show. There was times I thought she was pushing on me, and she wasn't touching me.
You didn't even touch him, no.
She was just over me with her energy, but I felt like something was literally touching me. I was like, "What is this?" So I'm telling you, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, I get goosebumps standing next to her because her energy is so strong. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I'm going to jump off my soapbox, but we really wanted to talk today is channeling. I know a lot of you guys have been talking to me in my readings, as well as other things, and how do we open these gifts and things like that. We talk about this, and I feel like we haven't talked enough possibly about channeling and learn how to begin to channel, because I know I had to learn. I know Dennis has had to learn. I know Joe has had to learn, and we've had to learn how to harness that. So I feel like this was the perfect person that we could have for this show. I feel like moving forward. So I want to start first. I'll come back to you, Min Chao.
Okay, that's fine.
Mr. Dennis, Spirit. I mean, anything you want to open up with? Anything as far as like how you Spirit? Anything? How your journey? Just anything you wanted to join? It'd be awesome. Oh, see, glitch.
I'm still learning.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
To be quiet. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear
you.
See what happens every time. This is how the energy works here.
No, I can send energy. Okay, you can figure this out.
This is Jay's screen is all frozen up. I mean, he's glitching, but if you can hear me, I'll just continue.
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy. Go ahead. Just keep talking.
It's 1990. It's been an interesting road, but I know there are, after talking with Jason, there are gifts that I haven't been able to get into or to tap into yet. But I'm a...
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So we just lost Dennis.
He'll be back.
But Joe, I mean, we'll let Dennis jump back in a minute here as he comes back on. We have this every week, and I know we're being messed with. So, yeah. So, Joe, I mean, so as far as that, I mean, what is something you, as far as channeling and things of that nature, I mean, what are some of the things you like to, let me see if I can get Dennis to come back in.
It begins.
There he is. There he is.
And it begins.
Can you hear us?
Welcome to the
I hear you.
And it begins.
All right.
It has begun. Where did I leave off at?
We are 1990.
1990, a long road. Apparently, I have lots of gifts that I have not been able to tap into yet. Don't know how. Don't know how to channel. I meditate, but the only thing I ever see is swirls of purple.
Well, the swirls of purple, that's crown. I mean, at this point, you're
the healing light, not the crown.
Well,
I know the old one.
Yeah, the old one. That's what I'm saying. So she okay. So you guys may know she goes off the new chakras from Archangel Metatron, and I'm still learning those things for her, but there's different colors. So when we associate colors from what we're used to, it's the old thing. That's when we kind of were talking about it. But yeah, healing, exactly right. So honestly, I know when it comes to channeling for me, I know first thing I have to do is quiet my mind. That's the first thing I have to do. And I tell everyone that when we do energy healings, and I know I'm going to let Joe talk a little bit, but I just know that's the first thing, like with Dennis, the channeling. And that's why I feel like this is the perfect show for that, to maybe everyone's going to do something different, of course, but it's whatever resonates with you. And we just kind of give you some ideas of some of the things we do. So, and that's just to try to get, so I'm gonna let you go to Joe since Dennis talked. I mean, what are some of the things as far as channeling that you may do, and what do you think about how you channel and what you're growing into your gift?
Honestly, and I'm sure we've all done this. We all watch people on YouTube's videos. We try and learn things. It just seems different for me. Just kind of comes. Yes, the quieting of the mind. But it just started flowing one day, and now it's at the point where it's almost on demand, almost. But when it comes to Mary, that one comes in if I'm dealing with someone or talking with someone. I haven't, quote, reached out to those. I don't know how. I really don't. I'll be the first one to tell you. It just comes. So I wish I could give you something more to do it, but quieting the mind, I think, is the first step. But it would come to me in the mornings, mostly when I'd be outside in that calm air breeze. And that's when I first started connecting. Now I can be filling up the gas tank, and it's like, really? Now? Okay. And it just starts coming, so it's for everyone's going to be different. I don't think there's going to be one stereotypical type, but as you mentioned, Jason, the first step is calm. First step for sure.
Absolutely. So then I'm just going to leave it to, actually, I was kind of anxious, I'm going to push it over to Min Chao, and just maybe how some of the things that she grew into her, how she channels and things like that. Cause I know she always has energies around her. Like even talking to her earlier, when we were talking, all of a sudden she's like, I get tingles. Yep, they're agreeing with me. They feel it. Mm-hmm. So she gets that stuff all the time now. So it's always there. So that's why I was like, I would love for you just to see how you've gotten to that point where you can channel, who you're channeling, those types of things. So
okay,
floor is yours.
Okay, I grew up the family was Buddhist, so we always learn how to communicate, with the spirit, with the family member of the past and the Buddha, and everybody learn how to do certain ways. We learn how to do meditation. That's the first thing we do to calm your mind, is what you say. But as I grow older, and when I do the energy healing, and I just imagine so many energy come through me to work with me. I work with a 14 archangel, although at the beginning I have very few. When they told me to sit down and write to teach a class. So when I sat down and I had to write certain thing to teach the student, and I said, now wait a minute, I can't tell you universal energy. It's impossible. I mean, who's out there? Good energy, bad energy, everybody out there. So unless I know who they are, I can't allow them to come in, right?
Mhm.
So that I pray, and they told me just work with people that I know. So people that I know was a Buddha and Jesus, and Saint Germain that I've been working with for a long time. And then because I grew up in the Catholic school, so I learned to know about Jesus. And so people want to know, when I encountered Jesus 3 times, they want to know, how do I know that him? I say, well, it's not difficult to know him. I went to Catholic school since I'm 5 years old. And of course, I know I went to church 3 times a day when I was in boarding school. Of course, I know who Jesus is. And so that way I learned how to, I write it down, all the people that I know, and then gradually, and more energy come through me. And then I will ask, can I attune this to my student? And they say, yes, by all means. Then I will call my student, I reattune them with the new energy come through me. But some of them, they tell me, no, and student don't need to have this. You can keep for yourself. So what I did. And when I channel right now, I don't really, sometimes I had to meditate and be quiet, but most of the time, like something happened, I said, okay, what do I do this? Who here to help me? And I need your help. And
Mhm.
things will happen, because they always have certain, because, you always have certain angel spirit around you to assist you. But only one trick is when I take the class, I attune you with all the energy that I have. I had like a 14 archangels, 35 ascended master, Jesus and Buddha was in there too. And I also have my family because my father passed on the healing gift to me, and he got from his father. And eventually I will pass on to my daughter. I don't think she knows that yet, no care, but when the time comes to, like I did, she will open her arm and take it, believe me. That's when she will. Right now she
Whether she
enjoys
likes
her
it or not.
action.
That's right. Whether she likes it or not,
When I say
it's
that,
your time.
your time, you take it. And just like you did from your mom.
Exactly. My
Yes.
mom. Exactly.
And I had my family come around, and the only thing I have my family, because a lot of time I channel, like I send certain soul home. Some of them get the earthbound, they don't want to leave, and that's not good for them, not good for us either. So I will have to send them home. But if you call on to Archangel, Buddha, or Saint, they wouldn't know who you are, because when you die, when you hear, everybody, you see them. But when your soul get out of your body, you're just like a child.
Mhm.
To go back home, you're just like a baby, just like when you're born here, you only know your parents. And um, I have a family that in case that if they don't go, then I ask my family to come when they recognize the human form, they're gone. They need to go where they before they came here. They don't belong here with us. And they're not harming us, but because they hover over your body. And if I did that to one of you, and maybe in 2 seconds you say, get off my back, but since the spirit, you don't see them. You see how many people walking like this because they hover your body, you don't realize that.
Huh.
And can hurt your body, and the doctor couldn't find anything wrong with you because not physical hurt, but from the spirit. So
Wow.
so when I
Mhm.
channel, I can, if I know certain people, sometimes I look for something I can't find. I say, okay, I will call certain people that I know, okay, find it for me. They will, in 5 seconds, you will see it. And sometimes I don't need to be quiet or anything. It just,
It just comes.
yeah, it just come.
Mhm.
And when I attune you with on the energy, they embody you. They're not around you any longer. They embody you. So you're like a light switch. You can turn it on and shut off when you want it. And but I told my student, when they get tired, they don't have enough energy to do that, they can call me and text me, send me some extra energy. Because you already have it. I can send extra, and then
Mhm.
we'll help you out. So channeling it, to me, is not that difficult, very simple. And if you need help, you call help. They're here to help us. So a lot of people don't believe in that, but if you open mind and you know that One of my students, she could draw a spirit when they come to see you. That's very real. One day I can show you the picture that she drew on my family. That's beautiful on the other side, and you will be in awe.
Well, it's like she was mentioning, like in her book, even there's good examples of like Min Chao. Like she's had these students, she's done these things. She did an attunement on somebody, didn't know how to draw.
Yeah.
After her final attunement, this person became very gifted in drawing.
She never
Didn't know anything
draw before. No,
So I mean, those are gifts that she literally opens dormant gifts. And you guys know me, I don't bullshit people. I don't say things that I know don't resonate with my soul that I wouldn't push to somebody else, because I don't do energy that way. I feel like what we put out, what we always talk about, comes back. So I put out light and love, and I put out truth. And I'm telling you that from the bottom of my heart, this woman is legit when it comes to energy. And I hate to say that, but I feel like I putting her up, but I know she doesn't like that. But the thing is I owe so much to her, is what I'm saying. Is that's why I'm so grateful for all the beautiful souls that are in my path now, is because it started with her for me. Exactly. And I can personally say that. And that's why it's a perfect spin and loop that she's here now with us to share her gift. And I feel like a lot of you are going to get to know her in the future. So, yeah. Very much so.
I can honestly.
Good, Dennis.
I was going to say, I can honestly attest that her pedestal is bigger than mine.
Yes, you can.
Why you say that?
That's what Dennis does.
That's Dennis's way. That's what he tells his. Yeah, that's what we were telling you about.
Yeah, that was a love tap. That's what that was.
Absolutely.
Now, I have a little bit of a unique voice, and I belt this out in Home Depot all the time. I might need a little attunement. I'm just saying. I would love that. Although I might lose some of the gruff. I don't know. But I do. I've always wanted to be able to sing. I don't sing well. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Make him sing soprano.
Soprano.
Oh, no. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries. So honestly, guys, when it comes down to it, what we started doing, it's just work on energy. And even when she attuned me, I'm not gonna say that after she attuned me, I became this amazing, gifted person out of the gate. What I had to do, though, because after she attuned me, I used it for a little bit, and then I let it go because life got in the way, and I stopped doing it. I stopped working on it. And then all of a sudden, literally with the last couple of years, I said, something needs to change in me. I don't want to be the same person I used to be, as I mentioned. And it started me working on myself, working on meditating again, spiritually, working on that, letting go of the things that no longer serve as purpose. These old cycles that we continue to have, because they're traumas that we have to move past, and we keep having them come into our present because we have something that we have to complete. So I started to do that. I started to release this stuff, and my energy literally started to flow. And then something told me, hey, you need to start to help others. So you need to start doing the energy healings. You need to start looking at, you have a gift of spirit. So start to learn how to read people and read energy. So that's what I started doing. Literally, like she mentioned, the channeling part just started to come naturally. Like it was just there. Like I feel like once we kind of calm the mind and open ourselves, as she mentioned, call in these specific angels and these guides that you feel familiar with, even if it's one, and then continue to work with that, and then continue if you get a new guide that comes in. So I just want people to know, like, it starts, you have to work on you, and it's a work in progress for me every day. I know she works on herself every day, and I know Dennis works on himself every day. Joe, I know, does the same thing, and I know you all are as well. So that's the main thing I would say, is quieting the mind. And then you have to be diligent on doing this repetitiveness. It's like training, like muscles, training, like you're training yourself in order to just become easy. So something that was heavy at one time will become light. See, now Dennis is frozen again. So it's the energies. I'm telling you, every time we have a show, the energies get tweaked on this. And so Dennis usually has the most computer problems. Jay went out for a minute he had something to do. So, and I can look, Chuck. I can look to see if the weather's going to be as bad as it looks like this weekend. I can pull some cards in a minute for sure. But I wanted her to I wanted her to just speak. I mean, some of the things, if you want to speak about some of the things like throughout your time, like just some of the examples, that was one, like the person she attuned were able to draw. I mean, these are things like gifts that she opens for people. There's Dennis. You were frozen there for a little bit, Dennis. Does she observe?
Yeah, it keeps dropping out.
Okay, so there's a question for you.
Okay.
So she says, so do you observe an equal potential for your students to channel, or are some humans more capable than others? Like, so do some people channel easier? Do some people have more gifts? What do you feel on that?
You know, I feel that if you are taught how to do this, it very come instantly, because you know the energy around here to help you when you know who they are and what they are. You know, you can call on to them, and they're here to help us, and they come very easy. Nobody can do better than you do. When I attune you with all the energy in the book, they all them in there. I also work with a 15 dragons energy, and you know, all the different go from different religions, and the people don't like when I do that, but you know, it is what it is, and it puts, you know, people have certain belief in their culture, and you cannot stop them and say we are better than they are. And I believe that I also had the universal energy to work with us on a lot of animal totems, and they also here to help us. And so a lot of them in there, you can find, you know, whoever you connect with, and you can work with them. And also a lot of them could be your spirit guide, and they will be there to help you, so you wouldn't have any problem to channel. And anything else you want to?
No, that's it. I mean, that's amazing. That's why I wanted to. So what she's saying is, yeah, I mean, each person, you're individualized. You were created by God, the creator. So you have individual gifts that others may not have. Do we have the abilities equalized to channel? Yes, I feel like we are all able to channel, but it just depends on the level of channeling and who you're able to channel, I think, is another thing. It's also based on your frequency. I feel like if you're in a lower frequency and vibration, you're going to probably channel different energies than if you're in a higher vibration and energy.
Yeah,
that's just what I don't know if I just what I get.
Well, the most important thing is you learn how to do meditation, and I believe that there are many methods out there to teach you how to do imagination, not meditation. You know, so you busy imagine, but you see different thing, a peaceful place, and the beautiful trees, and you know, pasture, you know, ocean. But that you imagine to see those things. So that didn't really work on your meditation. And I wrote in my book, and then this is a test. Only meditation will help to open your third eye. I used to wear glasses a lot, and recently the doctor couldn't understand how could I see the little line. I'm 73. I don't wear any glasses. I can see everywhere, little, you know. And they open your third eye. That I read for my third eye. So you learn how to do that. Yeah, you need to do the right way. You know, I'm sure because American eager to learn the spirituality, so there's so many things of them that you know whatever attract you, you learn, because not everybody can do what I do. I mean, only a certain amount of people would open mind enough, you know, to work with me, because I wrote a lot of different God, I call them the different religions, and when they came through me, because everyone need help. Okay, and I believe that until we unite the religion, we nothing, because we will continue fighting for nothing. That makes sense.
I agree.
One God, period.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's it.
Because God there's so many different religions. So I believe God creates a lot of different things, like a goddesses, and you know, dragon, fairies, you know, so you can, you know, you can believe and follow that to keep your faith. That's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot say you're better than mine, better than you, or you can't.
Right.
Not at all.
I agree. So, Mr. Chuck, I think it was you that asked the question earlier about the weather coming up. The first card I have is the Hermit card. That tells me that there's maybe some off-world people, off-world energies that are helping with that. And I have the Fool. So something is changing, new beginning, whatever the situation is. There's a Two of Pentacles. So it tells me there's a couple of options. There you go already. So this is block user.
What?
I was going to say, Jason, could you?
Porn bots.
Yeah, we don't have a moderator in.
That's right. I got it. I crushed it.
Okay, well, I was going to say, there's everyone that's in there pretty much. I don't see a problem with anyone in there that you could just, if you wanted to throw them a wrench.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
From the sledgehammer.
Two of Pentacles. So this was a couple of things that they were working on. So there was an option. I feel like there was two options of this. It could have gone that other way. But I have the Wheel of Fortune card. So what you're asking, I feel like it's going to take a turn for the better. I'm going to also have the Temperance because we're divinely protected. So there's divine energy involved that's protecting us from this situation. So there's off-world energy that's of the light, as well as angels and the divine. So it tells me that this will work out. And it tells me that the base of my deck is a 5 of Wands. So there's some type of conflict. This was an obstacle that they overcame. So this is what this means: obstacles, speed bumps. So I feel like it was the plan, but it was illuminated with the Hermit card. Something was brought to light, and that was changed. The divine, and see his light flickered when I said that. So I don't see anything as bad as I don't think it's going to be, is what they're projecting. That's what I feel.
As I told you, that then if we pray enough and all together, and the energy will change. Absolutely. I believe in that because I remember when my daughter went back to college. She went to Ohio State, and that morning they had to go back to school, and supposed to be the huge storm. So she said, "Mom, how can I go back to school?" I said, "I take care of that." So I started to pray, and I asked on the energy, to hold off the weather until she get to Columbus. When she get to Columbus, the snow come out. They couldn't get home. I said, "Mom, I thought you prayed." I said, "Yeah, but I said Columbus. I didn't say go to your house." But she get home, it's okay. But you can ask. They can delay, or we'll, I can fly through a different direction.
I can speak to that too, because when I went to Jamaica, before I looked at the weather report for Jamaica, when I went on vacation, you guys know, and it was supposed to thunderstorm every day there. And I was like, wow, I literally picked a vacation when it's supposed to pour every day. Well, I started praying and I started calling in the energies and things like that. And I was like, please remove the storms. Please allow it to be, storms can come after we leave. Please, I ask so greatly. Literally, it rained 10 minutes, 2 days, and it was done. It was all sunshine the whole time. Literally it was supposed to be every day of thunderstorms gone. So my wife's like, keep doing this. You're changing the weather, or at least holding it off. So I believe that, honestly, that's a story that's what I feel like. That's how powerful we are, guys. Like, we have so many gifts inside of us.
We do, but we have to know how. It's very easy. Just ask, I remember one time I was in a store and pouring rain, so I stayed away. And then they started to stop. I ran to my car. All of a sudden, pouring. I was soaking wet. And I tried to open the door to get in. And I said, you know what? Why can't you stop the rain? Because I'm soaking wet. And the rain just stopped. I said, wait a minute. You saw me running and getting wet. Why didn't you stop? You didn't ask. Right. The message tell me you didn't ask. I said, okay. I was soaking wet.
Free will.
Free will.
I wanted to mention something about what Min Chao said about the glasses. I'm having a hard time wearing glasses.
What do you mean?
Like, I normally wear them. I have a hard time wearing them anymore. Oh, when I get up, it's more habit, and then I'm like, but I really do during the day. I'm nearsighted, so I can't see things far away. I do use them to drive, but as soon as I'm done driving, they're off. I mean, it's really, and it's just within the last several weeks, I can't seem to keep them on. When you were talking about your glasses,
maybe you don't need it. I mean, you don't need it anymore.
I think I still do. I think I still do, but it's weird. It's
like when you stop, you take it off, right? Which means I think they try to tell you don't need to, don't do it. Which makes sense.
Well, I can't distinguish the stuff still far away, but anything relatively close now, I would wear them all the time. Anything relatively close,
yeah.
I don't need them for. I mean, I've been wearing them since I was a kid, so if I wake up in the middle of the night, I usually put my glasses on to go to the potty. I don't even do that anymore. It's just they're there, and I keep losing them because I'm setting them down because I'm not.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe you don't
So
need them.
something to that. Yeah.
I
Something to
feel like what I just got was I feel like they're telling you that you're not going to need these soon. That's what I feel from it.
That's
So it
what
tells
I'm
me
getting.
that there's improvement because actually it's for you. It's for you to physically. They're telling you to pull. They're pulling it. They're pulling it from you. Whatever is in here, they're pulling it away. It's because you're opening this. This is what's healing. You're healing yourself.
It's like an addiction.
Yeah.
Like a habit.
It's a
what I
crutch.
mean.
Yeah. It's a habit.
True story. It's like the oral fixation. People who smoke. I can't quit smoking. It's something. It's always got to be. It's what it is. It's oral fixation. You got to put something. There's got to be something to. It calms your nerves. No matter if it goes from cigarettes.
Yeah.
Usually goes to food. It's something that just constantly it's the motion. And I feel like that's what it's just what calms us. See, my light just got brighter. So it's I feel like that's a thing. We have this. We have the skills. We have the tools. It's just we're taught to not develop them. As we mentioned in multiple shows, and connecting the spirit, I know is something that all of you guys have been asking about. Guide, and how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this?
There is no manual.
There's no manual, right? We can try to help, and I just think that the most important thing is everyone's journey is different. You just have to start from yourself. Start calming your mind and your spirit. That's what you have to call, even your own. Call your higher self in. You know, we have multiple versions of ourselves, and that's the thing. Call your higher self. They will direct you. They will help you if you call them in. Only free will allow it to happen. You have to call them in and then thank them. And also, that's one thing I was going to say, Min Chao and I were talking about, is depend on your guides. Make sure when you call in your guides, it's always from a place of love and of thankfulness. Some people say, hey, why didn't you help me? Why didn't you come in? I'm telling you, they're the spirits. Spirit guides and things, they don't want that. They want the good energy that flow. They're here to help and love you. So what I'm saying is don't get your ego in the way.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, would you look at Tanya Lene? Got a really cool question there.
Can glasses filter out energetic impressions that the third eye should pick up, or filter anything spiritually? Well, here's what I feel. I'm not even going to pull. So mirrors. I keep getting mirrors. So mirrors are portals. Glasses are reflective like mirrors. So I see his light flickered. So I feel that's what they're telling me is that there's this, it alters. I feel like they're like little portals. I feel like glasses are portals and your eyes are portals to the soul. So I feel like there is some type of hindrance or some type of energetic energy that comes through your glasses. I feel like there's something to that because I feel mirrors. I keep seeing mirrors. So mirrors are portals. Mm-hmm. So I feel like reflective surfaces, your refrigerator, anything that casts a reflection can be a portal. So I feel like that has something to do with why they even created glasses in the first place. Because honestly, I feel like this is something that we didn't need glasses many generations ago. This is something I feel over the years of being poisoned. All these things that have happened to us, our bodies getting broken down. And I feel like that's the reason why we have these ailments now that they created solutions for. That's what I just feel spiritually.
Solution, yeah.
I don't know how you feel, Dennis, or Jay, or even Min Chao.
I agree. And I keep getting money. It's all about the money.
Oh, absolutely. You can guarantee that's what it's about. Absolutely. So I hope that answered your question. I don't know. Would you want to jump in on that? What do you feel about glasses? Do you think that do you think they have any effect on energies and all that type of stuff for people from the third eye?
I don't recall that will cause the problem because if you need to wear glasses, you do. But if you close your eye to do meditation, then you don't really need it. Right?
Sure.
And see what I do in my meditation is the 6 words. They go through your chakra. So that's why they help you to open your third eye.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of us who wear glasses, if they can't see, they need it. But if you're able to see that today, like a younger generation, what happened is they look at everything close up like this.
Right.
And so I tell them, go outside and pick the very farthest spot and, look at it and exercise your eye, because today, the children today, they're gonna wear glasses and go blind before their age.
Well, I believe that. And we talk about this little handheld device that we constantly are bowing to all day. We're looking at it. Yeah, we're bowing to it because we're constantly looking down at it, and I feel like that has something to do with our eyes. It affects our eyes. It affects a lot of things. So I feel like there is some, I see what she's saying. I feel like, because when you close your eyes, you start to open your third eye. That's how you see. You're supposed to see through this. These can deceive you. This doesn't.
Right.
So that's what I want people to know. Like that's the intuition. That's the things that we're trying to unlock and block. So we unblock it. So that's what I want people to know is this is a journey. This is something that you have to work on a daily basis. Something you have to work on a daily basis. Literally.
Yeah, less screen time. Okay.
Yeah, that's what less screen time is. Exactly right, Helen. That's the true story. We talked about this literally in our last show.
Yep.
Detoxing from your electronics. I feel because I asked me in my readings the other day, do your electronics like get to into your energy field and all that, and do they become attached? I feel yes, the AI and your electronics do become attached to you, and I feel like that's what I got in my cards, and it told me that exactly. And I feel like we have to detox from that stuff. And see, it's
I'll be right back. Excuse me.
No worries.
I got a sick doggy here.
No worries. Yeah, I had one yesterday. We had a sick dog yesterday too, puking and diarrhea all over everything. My beautiful wife got to wake up to the morning of a disaster that she had to clean up. So, but yeah,
media fasting.
Media fasting, exactly right. So, I mean, what do you think, Dennis? I mean, do you think the electronics do have something to do with our energetic fields as well?
I'm sure they do, but if we didn't have electronics, we wouldn't know each other.
That's right. No, I agree with that though. I mean, we talked about that. Okay, so internet and all this stuff was created with a nefarious goal in mind.
Yes.
But we're using this same technology and things to also bring to light together. So I feel like we flipped it on them, and that's a true story. But this, I guarantee,
if they can flip on us, we can flip on them, right?
No, exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what we're doing. I mean, that's where it starts. Like-minded people sharing in this, like this stuff that we talk about. Most people would put 5150 for this stuff in normal speaking years. I mean, there's so many people, as you mentioned, in the psych wards and things like that, because people think that they're crazy. Yes. But they have gifts. They may actually, these spirits that they see and hear, that is legitimate. Honestly, but somebody said, I don't agree with you. I think you're crazy. Yeah. See, he's flickering, flick.
I agree with you because, like people, a lot of people have schizophrenia. I mean, to some culture, that's a gift. But to hear, they think you have mental issue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I see spirit. I talk to spirit. I don't have that issue. But people don't understand that, when they see, oh, she talked to spirit and they think you have mental problem, and which chances are they have another gift and they don't recognize it. And so sometimes depend on the religion that they believe in, and so they can't really shut it off. They just think that you have problem. The truth is you had a great gift.
Exactly.
And I wish I could help them, and to open their gift.
Yeah, that's what it is. I feel like, Lisa, what you're asking about, when you have a vision and can see the vision with eyes closed and open, is that coming from the third eye? Yes. So if you have your eyes closed and you get a vision, then you can still see the same vision with your eyes open. That means you are still pulling that image in through your third eye. So
when
yes.
You have a vision and can see the vision with okay. Yeah. And could she be clairvoyant? I mean,
yeah, a lot of these people that are in here, that's what earlier in the chat she said, I have a gift. Lisa did. I know I have gifts I want to open. I know Dennis, same thing. He said, I have gifts I want to open. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people I know it comes down to they have a lot of gifts that they want to open and they're learning. So I feel like you were the perfect person to come along.
If you what you could you get the book, get my book and read it, and maybe contact Jason for the classes. I think I open the classes very soon, because that's what I do. I travel different places to do healing and teach the classes, and I know that my mission here is do healing and teaching and write a book. That's what I'm doing.
And actually, that's the funny thing. That's what she came back to Illinois for recently, was Archangel Metatron and all the archangels told her, hey, you need to come back here. You need to finish your book. You have 2 more books at least to write.
For now, yeah.
For now.
I try to finish my second and third book.
Yeah. So they'll keep pushing her. They keep, like us, we get in the way of ourselves, and all of a sudden Spirit's like, nope. And that's exactly what's going on. I feel like with us is in general, All of us are being pushed from spirit. There's a reason why we're together. Spirit's pushed us that way.
Yeah.
Spirit's like, it's time for you guys to stop what you think, stop what you think you know. It's time to move in a new direction. And really, this is what your calling is for. And I feel like once we activate, we're going to have a whole world of just beautiful souls who are able to have special gifts, heal each other. It's going to be amazing. I see it.
That's why my book, I'm writing my book, they told me to write very simple language so that a child can read and can understand. We can teach them to, only good energy. And, and then one day maybe they can teach the adult to have long compassion, understanding, so that we can have the world with the good thing instead of hatred and, racism. That's what I'm looking at. And so that I like to teach the children, because they innocent and they easy to learn, because they can see the good thing, and they can do bad because the energy going to kick their butt. That's the truth. You can't, when you had energy around you, because you do something wrong, they look and say, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. You try, even I try to do my best sometimes. If something happened, you had to get mad and get angry, but come down to that, and I try to think, I'm healed, I'm not hater. So I try to put that aside, but you're human. So sometimes that's excuse, sometimes no excuse. That's when I look at it. But.
I agree. No, I mean, it comes down to we're all human. We all make mistakes. Is there things that still make me mad? Yeah, absolutely. But the things that used to upset me, no, not anymore. Because that's me working on myself. And I know that Joe's the same way. I know there's a lot of things that used to trigger Joe. We've had these conversations, but I know a lot of these things that used to trigger Joe don't trigger him as much now, or even at all. So I feel like we're evolving in this situation. I feel like a lot of you are also, as the readings we do, the healing energies we do, things of that nature. I feel like that's something that you guys are doing yourself. You guys are healing. You guys are moving along in the journey, one little bump at a time. But I feel like you guys have all these skills because God gave you those skills. And that's what I want you guys to know. There's nobody and above anybody else. There's none of that. It's just like she said, some people have a little bit more attuned gifts in this time that they're able to push and help others, and then their gifts rise. So that's how it's all about the balance of the universe. And that's what we're here to do, is hopefully bring some balance, bring some of the light to the darkness. That's why I feel, and you want to hear something amazing, I'm going to share this story with everybody. It's today. This is literally today. So as you guys know, this platform that we use, that we put these videos on, as you guys have known from my posts, that they've been manipulating my channel for a long time. And literally I've been having chunks of people taken from me almost on the daily since my Richard Citizen interview, where we dropped a lot of truth. So when they started pulling it from, and then I wasn't getting, people were on my chats the other day, like, I don't get your notifications. I've been blocked. I'm shadow banned. I'm like, wow. And I said, you know what? I said, I haven't blocked a single soul on this whole channel at all. So I'm like, somebody else behind the scenes is doing it. So long story short, she told me what to do to block these energies. She goes, I told her about it. She goes, we're going to take care of those energies. We're going to block that energy, and we're going to bring in the light. Literally, I did what she told me to do. And literally, I looked at my phone, 2 new subscribers right after that. Like, literally, I hadn't got a new subscriber for a long time. They've been taking them from me, like in chunks. And I'm like, why am I not growing? I don't understand. So I know why I'm not growing, but I'm just saying is, like, when she told me to do that, literally, she goes, and by next week, you're going to start to see your thing climb. Yeah. That's what she told me. So I just wanted to share that. I that was how amazing. She's like, this is what you do for spirit. I'm telling you. So she had me write it down. I put it in a baggie with some water, put it in the freezer, and froze them.
Because some people do the bad thing, but always God give the person a gift to remove it, so you can't really do bad thing all the time. Somebody will have to remove it. And I told him that if, when he wrote me a text yesterday, and then, oh my God, just a time. I've been waiting for this time. I didn't expect that Jason, last time I spoke to him was in May, and then haven't heard from him. And all of a sudden he sent me a text, really surprised. And I realized that, if God, today I come up here and I say, it meant for me to do this for my journey, then I need you to open the door. That's all I'm saying. And I believe the door be open for us.
Nice.
Anybody try to block, anything they want to do, I'd be able to block you guys. So don't do it.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes, I do the easy way, but I can do not the bad way, but I certain thing you can do everything you do to come back to them and not good for them either. So please don't do it.
Absolutely.
I promise you guys. Just
So-
can't.
And that's the thing is, and I feel like there's a lot of energies around. I just know for me specific, I feel like a lot of us, because we're beacons of light. And I know that you guys can speak the same thing. I kind of know, but I feel like they're trying to dampen us out because we're starting to shine more and more. So they're working overtime to try to dampen us. And I feel like that's the reason why we have to push forward as we're doing and bring more of us together and activate more people. By coming together, we activate each other. And I feel like there's a lot of connections I'm seeing in the chat. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel most of us probably have had reincarnations in multiple lifetimes together. That's the reason why we're here. That's a true story. And that's something that I feel like we're learning more and more about. And that's what I want people to know. I mean, what do you think there, Joe? What are some of your thoughts on that? I mean,
it's almost kind of, that's how we got all brought together, quote, reincarnation, from the original reach out guidance of Arcana. And, that's like we end up finding out Dennis was my father in more than a lifetime, more than a few lifetimes. At least that's what I feel. And I think that's why I enjoy him so much. I enjoy his humor.
Of course, of course.
But no, I do agree. And I've already, Min Chao, you can throw this out there, but I've said in many cases, this seems to be, to me, we are living a past life, all of us.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely something that I subscribe to. I know it's not for everybody, but it's just the impression that it comes to me. Everything is so lined up and almost predictable. Maybe it's the growth, but it just seems that it's all happened before.
Oh yeah.
what do you think, Mr. Dennis? What are some of your thoughts?
Well, thinking if it resonates, it's probably something that we've gone through already.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
That feels right to me as well.
It's like deja vu, like I said in the last program too. It could very well be that we've lived through that point before. With me, deja vu, it's always been not what I see, but conversations I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what the next words are going to be that come out.
Yeah.
And that's happened a couple of times with me. So,
wow.
And I know for a few other people in the chat that have just been recently connected or connecting just from hearing them talk that, that there really is something about, connecting with these people that we've come in contact with. It's amazing. It just doesn't happen. It really is cool. I haven't heard one horror story, put it that way. Not one.
What do you say again?
Not one horror story.
Yeah.
So is it true about multiple timelines merging?
What she said?
She just want to know if there's if she feels, is it true that of multiple timelines merging together?
Multiple times. I mean, it's happened one time, and then
multiple timelines, like all different timelines, kind of merging in together. I mean, what do you feel about that? Do you feel that that's a possibility that multiple timelines will merge together into one?
Possible one. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. I feel like that's that. I also agree with that. I feel like we're reliving past lives, like Dennis mentioned too. That was a perfect example. The deja vu is, hey, this is familiar. This is your brain and your spirit saying, hey, pay attention, man. This is something to put in the data bank that you can recollect. And I feel like that was your aha moment for pushing past that. Like you overcome, I don't know what that means. You just overcome something. And I feel like that's your step. You're taking that step. And it's like you got the aha, the show me moment. Because I know I've had like, dude, I know this has happened. I wouldn't say deja vu out loud, but I'm like, this has happened before. I know I've been here before. Something along those lines. I'm like, it's familiar.
Yeah.
We've been reincarnated many lifetimes. And I know I have lots of many. And people meet for no reason. You met it before. like before you came here and you say, okay, we see you down there. We receive assignment and we run through it. Okay, see you down there. And then when time comes, you will meet. We will meet. I mean, nothing is coincidence. I believe everything will be destined. People
I
don't
agree.
believe what I say, but I do believe so.
That's what I told her. See, she goes, people don't believe what I say, but this is the perfect platform because the funny thing, I haven't talked to her much, but the conversation we've had to catch up before this show, I was like, literally, we've had this exact conversation. Exactly. We've had that exact conversation. I'm getting tingles now. We've had that exact conversation multiple times. I'm like, she's like, wow. She goes, you really paid attention as one of my students. And I was like, but I didn't remember this. It just comes from me. Like it just flows. Like I know. And I feel like the same with you guys. When we just start talking, it just feels like it's familiar for some reason. Yeah, I don't research things. I'm like Janine in a way. Like I don't go and research a bunch of stuff. I feel like I say something and it resonates because I know.
Yeah.
I just know it, and it just comes from my soul. So I feel like that's what it is trusting ourselves. That's a big thing. Is trust. Even for me, I love to get feedback from my readings still. And you know what the funny thing is? I always see the same responses. So spot on, fire. It resonated with me 1,000%. I got goosebumps. I'm crying. So it's beautiful responses, but I think that's my own ego that says, you know what, you're doing a good job. That's all it is. And I know that I'm doing well. And I feel like that's part of our problem sometimes is we don't trust ourselves enough.
We trust our intuition enough. And with me, I think I have to have verification for everything I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust my intuition enough. I'm trying to, but it's like when I do the pendulum, that's my verification. I might try to do the cards or whatnot, or if I have something that comes to mind all of a sudden, like my downloads, I'll use the pendulum and see if it's correct or not.
I know.
And that's the good thing is, I honestly, I mean, that's same thing with you, Joe. What do you feel? I mean,
I'm the same way. I'm kind of rolling more into the trust all the time. On a rare occasion, I'll verify it. I just, like Dennis said before, when it hits and you recognize it, I go with that. Like I do weird things. Like I look at when I'm on the phone with someone, I notice the battery drain. When I start talking with some people, when our energy is exchanging, boom, goes down. Right. It'll drop 20% in a 5-minute conversation. I notice these small little details for me that confirm certain things. I'm trusting more. It's no different than the affirmations of I am. At some point you have to go, I know, and I am what I was created to be. Period. It really is a mastery in the sense of belief. Not just believing, living, walking, talking.
You know what? You just resonated with me so much when you said the belief. Mm-hmm. And honestly, Dennis mentioned that too. It's in my same thing with me. See, my light's getting brighter. So the thing is, for me, it's the belief, because we don't believe. We're taught to not believe until we have tangible in front, and this makes sense. It has to make sense up here. Mm-hmm. And that's the case. We get in our own ways. So I feel like when it comes to the Spirit's telling me this is perfect. I'm giving it to you perfect. You're perfect in order for me to give it to you. And we lose sight of that because we want to try to make it sense of it. We want to try to make it how we want to make it, which isn't how Spirit gives it to us sometimes, because we get in our own way. And I feel like that's exactly right. We don't trust ourselves enough. And that's Spirit saying, you're perfect. It's perfect. And that how you are. I mean, is that what you feel like, the trusting of yourself?
Not that you don't trust yourself, that I see, but because you're afraid of other fall to interfere, people criticize you, and that's why you're a little bit worried about that. And that's true, right? Yeah. And so that's why we worry about not trusting. But I agree with you about a Spirit. Say you're perfect, because I believe that think about this, okay? If you are the image of God, if you are His child, and He created you perfect, right? It's true. So people say you're not perfect. Yes, you are perfect. You're image of God. He's perfect. So are you. Now, like look at parents. Parents look at the child. They see their children can do no wrong.
Yeah.
but see, they don't see that. But I come from a different culture. When people doing wrong thing, you see it. Even your own child, no matter how much you love them, and discipline them. But a lot of family don't see the child do anything wrong. They see their child is perfect. That makes sense. So that you said it's true, it's perfect. It's true. But there's time we have to see maybe we should do something better. And not that we don't trust us, but we should worry about other, criticize you. And maybe that's why I did not go into social media until he texted me. Because there are a lot of people out there, believe me, no matter how nice, how kind, how sweet you are, there's still some people out there dislike you.
Yeah.
Everybody loves me.
And I feel everybody I feel like I believe that. I feel like that ties into what we just said. It's trusting yourself, but I also feel like the programming of, like she said, maybe like as I'm reading, I'm going to be honest with you. When I'm reading, it's like, okay, am I channeling correctly? Is this person going to say I'm a fraud? That's my self-doubt because of the things I've been taught is to not let someone down. That's where I feel like, and I don't know about you guys, see my light gets brighter. It's letting others down. And I feel like because my soul doesn't want that to happen. And what I don't trust enough is I'm learning that. I'm working on that more and more. And God's telling me all the time, dude, get out of your way.
Yeah.
Because you are opening, you're beautiful and your energy is flowing, and you keep dampening your own because you're doubting, you don't trust. And I asked my cards the other day, as I mentioned in my previous show, Spirit told me you need to open more gifts, and what you want to grow your gifts, you need to continue to meditate, work on yourself. So I thought they're telling me, no, you're a baby in this situation compared to where you're going. So right. I have to work on it. So that's why I wanted to, that's what I feel. We do have some of that from the training, the conditioning of how we're brought up. Don't let others down. You know what I mean? The afraid of being the outcast, especially for some of this stuff. So I feel like that's why I want you guys to know is don't be afraid anymore. That's what's the most important thing is Spirit saying, don't be afraid, open your heart, open your spirit, and these things will start to flow through you guys if you guys open more. So I don't know, what is that what you do? What do you think?
I have one more thing on that. I think sometimes like for certain people that are kind of connected, and it maybe was a little bit for me, but the stigma of a title. Shaman, psychic, medium. That doesn't fit anything. That's just it. It's a title. And I had mentioned one other time about people kind of look towards us just to see what's going on in their own lives and kind of resonate. But I really have a problem when someone looks up or upon us as we're something special. We're not. We're all just at different levels. That's my own personal, because to me it's all God. It's not Jay has these gifts. It's God has given me these to help. But again, I think we can get caught up on certain things. The other day, someone had said something to me, and I said, "There's no title. I'm just what God meant for me to be." Yeah. What do you do? What do you mean? What do I do? I help you. That's just it. It's like they want a name to it. There's no certificate of authenticity. You have to feel with your heart. You have to feel with your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Absolutely. What do you think there, Dennis? I mean, do you kind of resonate with that? What are some of your thoughts?
I do. And faith is believing in something. I mean, when Yeshua walked around Israel to heal people, it's the people that had to have belief in and faith in that they were going to be healed in the first place.
Yes,
so I'm thinking anything that we do, we have to believe that we're going to be doing it, or believe in, at least believe that whatever it is that we say or want to do, then we got to have that particular belief in it.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that, and we talk about intention.
Yeah.
The intention, everything we do has intention. Our thoughts, our intentions Our words, our intentions, our actions, our intentions, and it all starts as if you have good intentions from wherever else, or good intentions from your heart. It all starts from the spirit, and honestly, it's your intention. The energy you put out, we talked about, is the energy you're going to pull back in. And as she said, it's free will.
Right.
So these energies are, if they're lower, because you're sending this energy out, that's like a magnet. It's like you're like throwing something out, a net, and you're pulling in everything that you get with that net. That's what I want. It's like a fishing net. So you throw it out there, and whatever you pull in, you're going to get boots and everything else that comes from the bottom of the ocean on top of that. So I want people to know that's how I look at it. They're telling me a fishing net. That's why I came to you. So it comes down to starting with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, and I agree with what you're saying, Tanya. Yes, I feel the ego is our way. It's the perfection part of it. I think that's our ego gets in the way of being perfect, because we're already perfect, but we're told that we're not enough. We've been taught that we're not enough. We're not enough. See, the lights are flickering.
There it is. Yeah.
We've been told this. So I feel that's what we're getting. We're already enough, but we've been taught that we're not. So we have to break that. That's a cycle. That's a karmic cycle that we have to break.
Can I just little quick one?
No.
Just got this. It's you know how we talk about intent, okay, but integrity. Yeah, they're just kind of giving me a little example.
Yeah.
If you carry integrity with you, you know, you just can't shut it off and on. You know, it's how you're built. You know, it's like what's right is right. Yeah. It just can't be, well, it's right at the workplace, or it's right at the schoolyard. No, what's right is right.
True.
You know, that's just it. And I think that's a very big thing. I really do. I think that is a very honest.
It becomes part of your energy, I think.
Right. And it is about being honest. I mean, it's just one of those things of having the faith, the honesty. Sure. Sometimes it's tough, but at least you're honest. I would rather have, one honest statement than 1,000 lies. And like I have said before, be the person you want to meet and have within your life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a simple statement. But if you can be that person that you would want to meet, that's powerful. Absolutely. That's powerful.
You've learned well. You can take that pebble from your hand now.
Young grasshopper.
So, Tanya, how did Min Chao help me work on my ego? She didn't. She told me always you're going to be you. So what that is what she did was she opened my eyes to spirituality in a different way, because I was raised Catholic. Everything was just God, and if it wasn't God and Jesus on the Bible, it's wrong, it's evil, and all this stuff. So that's what I was always taught. So for me, actually, to jump in for her, when she started opening me up to this, I was like, wow, this is way different than I've ever been taught. But just seeing it, like I said, I had physical, like I said, you have to show me. Like, that's what I feel like. It was a show me moment. And it came down to it where she showed me the gifts and I felt them. So the ego part for me, Tanya, was I had to work on myself recently. That's because something came to me. It says, you need to be better than you've been. And that was on my own before I started opening my gifts. So I feel like the ego, she had nothing to do with that, because your ego is always going to get in the way. Yeah. It's your job is to dampen that and to remove it. And from spirit, that's totally separate. So that's something I had to work on. My own pride, as I mentioned, my own fears, my own scars that I've had to let go of. I had to forgive a lot of things that happened to me when I was a child that were very bad, and people who hurt me. I had to let go of that stuff. And when I did that, I literally started to feel like things came off of me, and my energy, I could breathe more, and all the stuff that she did for me before kind of started to come through, because I let go of those blockages. And it was part of my fault that I should have connected with her more often than I did, but I was selfish. And I know that, a lot of things, my own life and things like that, I was worried about my own, and that's the thing. So I had to change my way of thinking. That was the first thing. That's a true story. So I go to bed, first thing before I go to bed and close my eyes, I always say thank you to God, my angels, all the guides that come through me. And then when I wake up first thing in the morning, when I sit up on the edge of my bed, before I go use the bathroom and all that, I'm thankful. So from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed and everything in between, I say I try to be more present is what I've been working on. Being present in your now and not worrying about what's going on 5 minutes from now, what's going on 10 minutes from now, an hour from now, 2 days from now. I know it's hard. We're programmed that way, but I feel like that's me channeling and working on my ego to being more present, saying thank you for what I have, not for what I don't, and wishing for what I don't. So that's my way of, that's how I've done it. So she had nothing really to do with that. That was my own journey of having to work on my own. And I'm pretty sure Dennis the same way, and Joe, same thing. You'll know. I know I was pulled. I don't know about you, Dennis, but I know it was something told me, like pushed me, like you need to work on yourself. Something needs to change for you. Did you ever feel like that's
I've always had that.
Okay.
You froze up again.
You're freezing up. Uh-oh. See, Joe went to go take care of his dogs, guys. So, well, if we get Dennis back, because hopefully we don't lose him. Let's see if we can hear him. So, Min Chao, I mean, what about you? What do you think? As far as what I just talked about.
Well, I'm sure I believe each of us have certain ego. I mean, because you feel better and you can do something that, that even difficult, you try to surpass and did it. So you handle some ego, but not so like, okay, I can do better and you can. I mean,
Right.
I am the master, you a servant, that's the ego that you don't want to have. Right? So
Right.
My
little
throne
ego
is bigger than yours.
Exactly.
So when I teach a class, I always ask the divine to remove all the ego from us so that we can learn and do the lesson better. We don't need people go out there and tell me that they doing better than the spirit. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. So
Absolutely. And Dennis, you were talking before you kind of froze and lost. So you remember where you were talking?
Yeah, what was I talking about?
Well, it's about the ego.
I forget.
And getting out of the way with ego. And like, if you've been pulled your spirit, because it was with a question with Tanya about working on yourself, like, did Min Chao help me with that? So I knew for me, like I said, spiritually, something told me, push me, you need to work on yourself. This is not the best version of you. I don't know if you had that similar, like you felt almost pulled to, like, I got to change things. I got to be better. That's what I was asking about.
Well, even the poll was the, starting off with me and being pulled to Kristen and Jason, and then with Joe pulling me to be.
You're okay. Oh, here we go. Lost Dennis again.
Yeah, you were going to need that, I think.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I told you we were going to break the internet, man.
Yeah. I kind of caught a little bit of what you were saying. Another thing that we're kind of talking about, getting rid of things, red flags, certain things like that. Like, I don't have problems with the thing I have problems with is the kind of information, in a sense. And, we're all guilty of it. I don't do it as much any longer. There's only a few channels I watch that I get something out of, but at the same time, everyone brings something to the table, in a sense. I just have a problem when you have people out there that they'll give you one thing, but if you want more information, you're going to have to come to my special place or my Patreon to hear the other stuff.
Yeah,
That bothers me. I don't think there's any. I have a problem with that because I don't think that's being truthful. I don't think that's being honest. I think there's zero integrity to that. A healing, a tarot, that's completely different. These are services, but when you have, like, someone gives you information, and there's one or two people that I really used to follow that would continuously bring information to YouTube, but there's something else on this side.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, people can't necessarily afford to do something like that. Yeah. And I'm sorry, spirituality and God doesn't come with a price tag.
Yeah.
It's to be shared. That's why this world is the way it is right now. Absolutely. We need to be open, honest, and especially, like I mentioned before, with ourselves. You're a beautiful person, period. Take a look in that mirror. When you walk in the store, keep your eyes up, your head up. Don't be the gray man, the gray person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, I mean, make eye contact. Hi, how you doing? It takes effort to be rude, nasty, ignorant. To smile and be nice, it's effortless. In fact, it's addicting at some point. Just to
Absolutely.
feel that giving. Yeah.
So my question then, what I mentioned though to you, Joe, I mean, recently, about did you feel pulled to start saying, hey, there's some things I got to change. I got to start working on me. Did you feel pulled by spirit to do that? Or did
Yeah.
just something that you just said,
Yes.
I feel like I got pulled to that. I mean, something was
Right.
telling me
And
you got to
that's
make changes.
right. And this was the separation from Arcana, because it wasn't so much. It's just that I'm being drawn. We're all on our own spiritual journey. It's an
Sure.
individual journey. Um, and what you're when you're being pulled towards something, you know, you have to recognize that. You have to be honest and say, I got to look at this.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to make that effort, because if you worry about not doing it, which I did, I'm guilty of it. But now that I kind of feel I've broken that now, where I'm really, I don't think we're all going to be 100%, as far as, you know, we still have to live in this world. But
Yeah.
when you're being drawn for something, there's a reason for that. They're pulling you. They're telling you. I listen to those things. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm when I get something, I don't always have to verify it. Very few things do I have to verify it. I'm living by that spirit.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And as I'm saying, it was something that just had to change for me. And I feel
Mm.
like my journey was, before I even got to Arcana Shores, was to start working on myself. Honestly, I feel like there's something that pulled me. It's like, I got to be better. Something
Mhm.
about me. I know how I was. I used to be angry. I'm going to bring Dennis back in now.
Okay, and
Welcome back.
I can verify from our conversations that we had.
Welcome to
Jason
my world.
said that early on, very early on. Welcome to the show, Dennis.
Absolutely. And we talked about this, and like I said, this
Welcome
is
to my
something.
world.
Yeah, energy is it's funny because you're right. The energy did bring us together, and the common denominator was Janine into Kristen for many of us, and then and Jason, and then from there, my energy at the time as well, saying this is time for me to. I did my part that I feel energetically, and it's time for me to kind of separate from this point.
Right.
And I feel like that was just my journey. And same thing. It's just I feel like as we grow in this, it's going to take us in all different directions.
Mhm.
Literally, we're going to be
Yeah.
branched out everywhere. And I feel like once again, that comes back to how the universe works. Is this person's in my life, been out of my life for years. The universe brought her back into my life for a reason. So there's something to it. And same thing with you guys. We're all
Yeah.
together.
I just got the image of the tree of life. You know, the tree of life, how the branches go way far out. You know, and it just keeps growing. That's the way
Yeah.
I just saw that. But we're all gonna, you know, put it this way: at this point, in 3 months, where will you be? I'll guarantee you, if you're putting in the work, you're you're gonna be in a better place. You're gonna understand things more clearly.
Yeah.
You're not going to resonate with certain things. You know, I mean, there's always something. I mean, like I mentioned last show, I think it was entertainment. Okay, you know, when you to me, it's an entrapment. In other words, you enter willingly and into that chain. In other words, to hold. And you know, the whole idea of entertainment is it captivates you.
Yeah.
Captive. I mean, these are kind of simple little things, but you know, when you're involved in like sports, for instance, you got to watch to the end of the game, right?
Right.
Sorry, I get nothing out of that. Boom, it's gone. Anytime something like where I have to be focused for a given time on nothing, I question it, because it is nothing to me.
I agree. And Sunflower made a comment here, and it's people. Unfortunately, we still live in the corrupt system, you guys, and pay bills. That's why I donate. So I want to say thank you guys to all the super sticker people that have sent super chats and super stickers. Thank you. You guys are always know us blessed. And like I said, I don't push products on people. Even when I do healings and energy people and I do readings, I never say, hey, you need another one. Oh, you need to come back for another one. I don't do that because once again, I put this energy out that I know is going to come back to me. And the people that come into my reality and into my, that's because they energetic field, that's because they needed to. The universe brought them to me. And that's how I look at it. So I feel like, and I agree with some of these people. There's some people are saying, yeah, there's products being pushed out and it's getting old. It does it's like an infomercial,
Right.
and like what Joe was mentioning, this is all information that somebody's putting, I'll give you extra special information if you pay this or pay that. They're right. I do have bills and it does cost me money to run this platform and kind of get things up. So that's the only reason why, like when you see me read, I don't care if you donate $1.99.
Exactly.
You're going to get the same reading if I give you a $20 one. So it's fine. I give you the same. Oh, you're losing Dennis again. So, and I feel like that's the energy. Even when I started my channel, I mean, even with the readings, first I give readings for free for people, and it just, some people are like, oh, do I need to donate money to get a question answered? It's nothing about that. If I feel spiritually, that's what I'm going to tell you honestly. If spirit tells me answer, it will get my attention to answer your question. I promise you that. If it's that important that you needed to know something.
If you're watching the chat, it'll jump right out at you.
And I don't read the chats until afterwards.
Right. But I'm saying, like, a lot of times when you get see those questions, the couple that I've seen you do it and pull someone's question, it just jumps out at you. It's like, well, here it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's that pay attention. You're drawn to attach that. It could be someone's energy. It could be the type of question, or it could just be the actual resonation of, ooh, that's intriguing, or boy, that sounds really good, or it can be helpful, plain and simple.
And most of the beautiful souls that I read for, do energy healings, they want to come back. They tell me, can I have another one? That's the first thing they ask me. I want to book another one. So, and that's the thing is like, because the energy that's transferred is beneficial. That's what I feel is the thing. It's not a service or I'm providing you something for money. I feel like because you get value from it, and the value that you want to pay, I have an idea, but if you're willing to pay, that means you feel that that's valuable enough for you to give you their energy back, and it's an exchange of energy for the moment.
Right, that's it. Exactly.
Actually, not exchange energy. Actually, your time. That's the money. The energy is very much free. They pay for your time.
Right.
But your time is the money. The energy you can send. That's different, right? Yeah. So if somebody come back to you again because they need the energy from you, that way they help them to help them to change their lives, whatever
absolutely
meant to them, and so they can. Somebody
here's how sweet she is. She's like, you read for people? I said, yeah, and she asked me how much I put for my charges, and she's like, do you have any availabilities? And I was like, yeah. I said, why, do you need a reading? She goes, yeah, but I can't afford a reading from you right now. I was like, really? I was like, really? Like, I mean, that was her way of thinking, like, okay. So I read for her right before, and she's like, so true, so true. So I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like, it's like if I feel compelled from my spirit to do it, I give free stuff all the time to people. So it's nothing. Like, I just want people to know that it's not what this is about.
Could I mention? Do you remember I had brought someone to you for a reading?
Yes.
And I insisted on paying for it because to me, it had to be a gift. You know what I mean? It had to be a gift. I had to put that energy, whether you look at it as money or whatever, but I had to do that part, to do it, to make it, in my eyes, what's the word I'm looking for? Real, honest, beautiful in so many respects.
Sure.
Right. And but that's just it. I mean, those are different things. And I think that is also maybe it's the intent I'm looking for, that was my intent of this gift. It's worth every dime, every nickel, every penny. I wanted to make sure that happened, and again, there we are. He's back.
Where did he go?
Yeah, he's still kind of slow. I don't know. I know. Dennis, are you on Wi-Fi? Or? Oh, I know. I was like, he was gone for a while.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's probably why. So
reboot.
I kept
It looks
dropping
like
off
we're-
my.
Yeah. So something is interfering with your Bluetooth. I mean your wireless Wi-Fi. So Tanya wanted to know, does Min Chao have any tips on identifying who we channel? She goes, I channel often and I don't know how effectively I am. I don't know what that means. IMO. What's IMO? Anyone
In
know?
my opinion. In my opinion.
Oh, in my opinion.
In my opinion, effectively.
Okay. But I don't know who.
it is.
Okay. I'm
I'm
more
more-
clear. Yeah. So she can see and she can
Okay.
cognizant. Yeah. Claircognizant and clairvoyant. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
audibly hear. So she wants to know, are there any tips for identifying who she channels when she channels, like how she moves
Or
forward?
who it is. Yeah. Or who it is.
You know, when you usually when I channel, I had a lot of them come around. Whoever available, I didn't care who's who, unless I call in certain, angel that I have certain specific, need.
Mm.
And it's because I don't always identify who they are unless I give that person that I know it appear, and that you had to be taught and the meditation, and they open up your gift like a clairvoyance, and you will be able to, it will take time. And the important thing that you do meditation, what you do, and to open your third eye. And usually when you see that, you see with your third eye, not you see with the regular eye. You don't see that.
Mhm.
Did
So-
any answer your question? Or?
So yeah, I mean, I feel like she's saying like the more you do it, the more you channel, then what you do is you can ask for signs. Am I channeling you? Am I channeling this?
Mhm.
I feel like you'll start to get downloads. You'll start to get signs and things like that. I feel like the energies, maybe you'll feel energetically. I feel tingles. I feel pulsings, tickling on the face. I feel like there's certain things that you will get you ask, see, it's flickering. So that tells me, I feel like if you ask, is this a sign from this guy that I feel that this is who it is? This is who I feel. Am I channeling this?
Yeah.
And I feel like you can even, if you wanted to get a pendulum or even rods, or even you don't need that. You can honestly just, if you feel in your spirit and you get your signs, I feel you'll get your signs physically. I feel like they'll be physical for some reason. I don't know what it is. I feel physically, or you'll get colors and physical stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the more you connect just with spirit. She said meditating, to open the third eye, the more you're going to become clear of the energies that you channel. Jay, for instance, I can use him as an example. At first, he had multiple spirit guides that he would talk to, Native American spirit guides, angels, all these. But lately, the only one that he knows is that is coming to him now. It's pushing all the others out of the way, is Metatron. But he knows his energy from the moment it comes to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask him, is this your energy? He just knows from opening it. And the more he connects with that energy, he knows. You'll know. You know when you know.
Because the Metatron, I believe they is supposed to be with you, so that you resonate with his energy, and he come to you. He could be your spirit guide too. You have a lot of different spirit guide to come through and help you out. Apparently, you resonate with his energy, and that's what he's there for.
Mhm.
I people who want to know. Sometimes I could see color exactly in my book. I can tell you how to the energy, how you feel, the tingling or waving or the color, and it tell you, what they are. And everything you do, you're like you go to school in a career, you need to be trained, and it takes time. Some of them they've been doing for a long time, and they get stuck. So sometimes easy. I just open them up, and they can do what they want to do that they couldn't do before, although they've been doing for years. So I don't know how long have you been practicing in the meditation, or do any other thing that maybe you give me more answer what you've been doing, then maybe can get you a little bit better.
Oh no, she's talking about
Sorry.
questions.
So that will happen. I mean,
I've been considering to try automatic writing to figure out who I'm channeling more, but honestly, as long as the energy is of the light, that's all I care about. Tricksters feel different than pure light. So Tanya, you can do that.
yeah, okay.
You can do that. You can do the automatic writing. If you're channeling, you'll be able to tell if you ask. You honestly, I feel you'll start. That means that's your way. If that's how you feel, that's what your spirit is telling you. You've considered doing automatic writing. You know why you've considered doing that is because Spirit's telling you that's a gift that you probably have and you need to open it.
Yeah, you need
That's-
to own doing that. Yeah. I my book. I wrote my book, and people say, "Oh, you're so smart, you're so intelligent, so gifted." I say, "No. Do you think I write the book by myself? No, because I get stuck many times with some of the chapter. I feel like I couldn't get 2 words out of it, and I just put the title on it, and then it's stuck.
Yeah.
And so finally, I said, I have to get the chapter done, otherwise I can publish this book. So then I pray for the guidance, and all of a sudden, certain word come to my head.
Yeah.
And I wonder why these words, I had no clue, and then I had meditated, I find out. They say, you're going to find out. And then I meditated, I found out what it meant,
Yeah.
And then I just put things together, But because when they told me to write the book, I said, what? What do I know about this? I remember the message telling me, you think you write it by yourself. I said, okay, then.
Well, that's kind of what Min Chao was saying. It was like almost like automatic writing. And she's saying she channeled it, and it came through her thoughts and what she was putting on her paper. And actually, she was trying to make sense of some of the stuff she was getting as well. Because when I first met her, she was drawn to a place that says the Spirit told her, go to this place. This will help you kind of unlock and kind of start to understand that. And literally within 20 minutes, she was there. Of things she was blocked for a long time, didn't
For
understand
4 months,
it.
I couldn't
4 months.
translate it.
Yeah.
And even my language, but very technical, and I just couldn't translate it. And I even asked some other Vietnamese student who just came here for their studies, and they looked at it and they said, no, too technical. And then so when I came here, and the message guided me to go to the lake. I don't know why I got there for, but I said, okay, I'm here at the lake, so what do I do? So I opened my book, and in 20 minutes, I translated it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was amazing. They came through and helped me when, I couldn't do it for 4 months.
Yeah.
So it's just.
That's her overcoming and blocking. So that tells me that was like her gift of, that's her automatic writing. And that's what that was telling me. So for you, Tanya, the same thing. She says she's been challenged since she was a little kid, little girl, since she had a near-death experience when she's little. So
And
she's been channeling. Same thing. So Min Chao's had a near-death experience. Joe's had one as well. I mean, so there's many of us. I had one as well. I mean, I fell backwards from a ladder when I was a little boy and hit my head directly on the concrete from a ladder. I fell asleep, and I remember waking up in the hospital days and days and days later. So, and I think that was one of my things that maybe was just something. So I feel like that was it. See how my light's all bright. So I feel like all of us have some type of connection. So that tells me, Tanya, what that tells me from Spirit right now is if you have thought about doing this, that's because you're being pushed to do that. So that tells me that that's a way for you to open your gift. And I feel you will get a lot out of that if you start to focus on that. Like she said, like Min Chao said, it's something you have to develop more and more and more and more. You have to train and train and train.
Maybe you need to receive attunement. You've been doing it as a child, but maybe something that blocked that you didn't even know. And so until you open that blockage, and you can't do much anything. And so maybe text Jason again, and maybe I can help to work with you in that respect. And channeling is one thing, but you had to what to do, but you had to, like, you want to build a table, you need to have a certain tool to do with it, and if you don't have the right tool, you won't be able to do that. So maybe you had certain gift, but still, something they stuck that you need to open it. Some of my students, they've been doing for years, and all of a sudden she could draw, and the picture, she had no idea why she did that, because she had no gift whatsoever in the child. She's in the mid-30, all of a sudden come out. And sometimes she sent a picture that she wrote, she didn't know what it meant. So the message, the Spirit told her to give it to me because I can identify that. And I look at the message and realize she drew the message for me. Yeah. In that way, so if I don't get the message, they will send somebody out to give me the message. So maybe we can, I will try to help you. I can to help you out.
That's what she is. So the attunements. So we'll talk about that. I mean, moving forward. I mean, this get started because everyone's holidays and everything, let that kind of calm down. I feel like we'll get going with this. We'll put it together, but I feel like we're going to do some classes together where you're going to learn energy healing through Min Chao as well. And then attunements and things like that. So I feel like, we'll do that for sure. I feel like there's a lot of people that she's going to help open some things up for. I know she did for me, and I had some things. So I feel like a lot of you would probably be very interested in this. And that's what we want. We want you guys to be superstars. That's what this is. And I mean, like, not in a conceited way. I mean, just be the bright, shining light and star that God made you to.
Do what you wanted to do and thing that you've been looking for to get somewhere, and you couldn't.
That's right.
And we're here to help you out. And I promise, if I could, one thing that I've been doing for years, and with Jason, we should be able to help you with all the people here. And I'm sure we'll help you get somewhere.
Absolutely. No, this is amazing. I feel like the channeling part of it. So when you see the lights, guys, the lights flicker in Dennis, you see Joe, all of a sudden he'll look up to the sky because he's getting downloads. My lights get brighter. That's us talking in general. That's spirit. So these things that we get, it's because spirit wants us to flow. That's what they flow with us. So
when they agree with you say, that's what that happened. A
lot of times that's what it is. It's like they're giving me that one got it.
The spirit here comes really in a strange way. I can tell you the story when I taught the class. This lady, I think she's 78 years old, and she's been doing healing, but she gets stuck,
no worries, man.
So she came to me, and I taught the class. She sat across the table from me, and she asked questions, and I answer her, and she said, "That's a good answer. Thank you." I just say to myself, how does she know that's the right answer? How did she know, And then after the third question, she said, "Good answer. Thank you." Again, I said, "Oh, wait a minute." I say, "Wait a minute. How do you know those are right answer? I could say anything I want. How do you know?" She looked and she said, "There's a spirit sit on top of my head." She saw a spirit sit on top of my head. So when I gave the answer, he like this. Oh, he nodded his head. You know what I'm saying? So she know the right answer. I didn't say anything, but that's what they told me. Isn't that cool?
So honestly, the moment I contacted Min Chao yesterday to say, "Hey, this is the perfect," first person that popped in my head for channeling was her to me. So that was universe saying, "Hey, this is the second time she's popped in your mind the last few weeks. It's time to reach out to her." So I did. And I feel like she wasn't in her journey. She wasn't ready. And you notice the story is the same. She didn't want to be pushed out into the media and the social media. This is all of us, these people that we're all together. A lot of us, I wasn't either. I don't like to put my face out there, even though it's just, I didn't feel comfortable. But now I feel like spirit finally said, it was enough. I pushed back as much as I could. And they finally said, you're done. It's time to move forward. And that's why I feel like we've seen so much growth. And I feel like there's so many of you guys who are in this chat you guys are expanding. You know what I mean? They're expanding more even than others that are in the group, like in the soul tribe. Right. I mean, tingles. I was going to say when the tingles thing, the moment I contacted her about this show, I started getting tingles all over my head and all over my body. So something was telling me, Jason, this needs to come together. This is what's meant to happen. So I was like, okay. And the funny thing is like, I was like, I hope I don't know if she's going to be comfortable doing this. I don't know that. But then she's like, I would love to, I'm so thankful for you even doing that. And literally someone told her it's going to be one of your students is going to help get you out into the world. And little did I know it was me because
I never talked to Jason.
Exactly.
Not for a million years, but that here he is.
Yeah. But it's been a great ride. I mean, honestly, it's not a mentorship. Like I know that you've gained a lot of mentorship, and like I know there's others meet your mentor and all that other stuff. I mean, that's okay. That's a middleman, and that's a true story. And if you choose to do that, awesome. That's cool. That's your light. But I mean, your mentor is God, and your mentor is you and your higher self. That's where it starts. You don't need an in-between person for spirit. You're connecting. That's why these lights flicker, because there's no one saying, "Hey, I'm going to flicker your light for you up and down, up and down." No, it's you and your energy that you're connecting with. Everything is connected energetically. So I feel like that's something What? Someone's out. Someone. What? Dennis,
I told them to stop flickering the lights now.
Yeah, he's just telling them, turn off the lights. They're flickering. They're flickering.
You know.
Yeah, and I feel like J Rocco Joe. I feel like Joe is he's taken this on a little different route as well, because when we came together with Arcana, he put his email out to everybody. He said, "Hey, if you need to talk to somebody, I'm here. I'm an ear to listen to." And I know he did that for Dennis, and I know he did that for me. And I also, and even my wife, as I mentioned previously, my wife said, you must really trust this person. The stuff that you're telling this man after not even knowing him within 10 minutes, I just felt connected to him. It just felt right. And I feel like the more of us, our group is going to not say separate, but our group is going to go in different directions as a soul tribe. It will. I know it will. And I'm saying some of us will go, we're going to end up in the same at the end game, but we're going to take different paths. That means if we were together, we may branch off and we may come back at the end. It's all part of
it's not. It's like a nucleus.
Absolutely.
Really
home base.
So some of the questions that people have, I mean, it's so amazing. Some of the questions people think outside the box, they bring beautiful things to so like the other day, I want to share something for you guys too. Well, my last reading, if you guys weren't there for my last live readings, I was so locked in the spirit that day. Like literally, like my lights were lighting. I'm even see my arm hair standing up. So that tells me that, and it's always on my angel arm with Michael. And I always get my lights brightened. But when I started to flow, and before I'm even putting cards, I'm already answering something that I'm getting 2 cards later for that I didn't even pull for. After I got done, it's the first time this has ever happened to me. This is why I connected so much with spirit that day. I got done. I almost felt punch drunk. When we were done with it, I was almost like, I don't know. Like I felt like my energy was like, whoa. Like it was, I felt I was kind of in between worlds is what I felt. And then I finally had to go outside, ground myself on the ground real quick, even with frozen feet. I was like, it was a quick grounding. I'm like, oh my God, this is freezing. I can't, my feet are stinging. So, but I did it, and it kind of helped me charge. And my wife was sitting next to me on the couch afterwards, and she goes, wow. She goes, I feel your energy. It's so vibrating, so high, because my wife is very empathic. She feels everything.
Empathy, so she had empathy.
She knows.
She can feel everything. That's why a lot of them don't know how to control their, so they had to really be taught how to do that. And I tell you why. I mean, I tell you a story.
Goosebumps, man.
Yeah, I know. I can feel my goosebumps when thing happened too. You can see my goosebumps everywhere. And I'm kind of hiding because I'm not ready to do what I'm supposed to do. And you see how you don't know what I'm doing, but I've been doing DoorDash. You deliver food. I have see how many, about 10,200 deliveries.
Yeah, true story.
And that's a true story. And I reach out a lot of people, and they could feel my energy when I come in, and I enjoy to see the people with good energy, and I'm finally get the rating 5.0, something like it. They appreciate me, so I'm glad for that.
Absolutely.
I hope they don't know me. Some of them see me, but not all of them. They don't want to see you personally because the pandemic and everything had to be like no contact.
Yeah,
but that's what I do. But this is that's temporary, not what I supposed to do. But this is I supposed to do. But I have not done that, and I've been hiding, so doing something else. And that's funny, but that's the true story. I'm not lying.
And what did Spirit tell you to do now? I did a reading for her earlier, literally, and she got some opening stuff. I'm like, oh, it looks like you're on a new journey.
Yeah.
This is you had some conflicts, some obstacles. I'm like, they're telling me you need to move along in this journey. You're being pushed. And then, of course, she had the Hermit, and then she had the Temperance card. Actually, had the Judgment card too. So, I mean, she had all these beautiful, high-spirited cards. I'm like, and I knew that was coming through. I already knew that those cards were going to pop in. And the funny thing is, I kind of know, if you guys have been noticing in my live readings lately, I kind of know the cards that are going to come out before I even pull them. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to see the Jesus card come out. Bam. I know I'm going to, I know it. I just know it. I don't know how I know, but I know it. And that's why I even had to ask myself, am I even close to where I'm supposed to be? And I know in my heart, I was like, I feel like I am, but I knew I wasn't in a way.
And you receive the attunement more often.
And I asked I asked my dragons, I asked my ascended masters, I asked the archangels, I asked multiple times, and everything kept coming back to, you need to work on you too, more spiritually, connect spiritually. That's what they're telling me. You need to connect. So let go of the ego. I'm very competitive. If that's what I've told you guys, and that's one of my downfalls sometimes to my own detriment, is I'm very competitive. I'm my worst critic. I get on myself, and I know many of you are probably the same way. You're harder on yourself than anyone else.
Yeah, we need to work and we work hard, to survive. Unfortunately, but we had the gift and we try to work on it. It's just sometimes not easy to reach what you want to be. So keep trying. Right?
I always ask, what more can I do? Where do I need to focus? Just like Jason says. But I have told Jason, that non-commissioned officer is trained into that, man, sometimes. And it's not a bad thing, but I always tell him, that non-commissioned officer, I think we're going to start calling him that guy. He needs to know he's retired.
That's the first thing the other day, literally like a couple weeks ago, a situation I mentioned about, and I was just like, it was about the YouTube thing. I was upset at first. I'm like, these goons are messing with my channel. I said, they're holding people, but they're blocking people. They're banning people. I don't do any of that stuff. They're pulling people, not one here, there. Okay, you're going to lose viewers. Okay, that's fine. But when we're talking chunks at a time, chunks and chunks and chunks, I'm like, and my channel hasn't grown a single bit. And I know at this point, and I look at the number of views my videos get, I know that this stuff doesn't add up numbers wise. I'm a numbers man. I've always been that way. In case you don't know the gematria that I pull up, and I feel like that's and then Joe told me, first thing he told me when I'm like, okay, shots fired. That's the first thing I told him. Shots fired. Time for me to fire back. He says, pump the brakes. You need to take that non-commissioned officer and kind of pump the brakes of this one a little bit. And I said, you know what? And actually, I'm glad he said that, because I'm like, you know what? I need to do that, because the first thing I want to do is attack.
Yeah, I even told you, see, you enjoy the fight just like Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
The fight is a art form.
I do enjoy the fight.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
You enjoy the fight. See, I always look at myself as the closer because I don't want to fight, but it's going to be over quick because I don't enjoy the fight. The fight has no purpose for me, but you do. You enjoy the fight. You relish it. You're like, who's next? Who's next?
And that's the thing, is because I feel like that's something I've been doing since the beginning of my existence.
I agree.
And I feel like it's the darkness. I'm always competing to beat that. It's something I'm always trying to beat and complete. And I feel like I won't complete that until my final reiteration is here. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I feel personally, this is my final one. I don't know why. I feel it is. And I feel like as we move along on this journey, wherever that takes me after this earth plane, I don't know. But what I'm saying is I feel like this is something like I need to get over. Mm-hmm. It's the will to win always. And I feel like I will accomplish that mission in this final, reiteration of myself, because even to detriment. I am a poor loser. I used to be, not as much anymore. I'm working on it. So I used to tell people I'd rather cut my arm off than lose a game or lose at something. I don't know what it is. That's just me. And that's one of my things that I have to look at. And honestly, that's like one of my things. I know that for sure my ego gets in the way all the time. Mm-hmm. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. That I feel like that was also part of my childhood.
Game is a 4-letter word. You know that, right?
Game
is a 4-letter word. That's all I'm saying.
Mega.
Sure. So, and I feel like that. So honestly, guys, this is something, that's just an example for me to say, this is something I have to work on. Mm-hmm. And that's just a personal example. There's, like I said, a lot of things, a lot of traumas that I've had to let go of. And there was a lot. And I mentioned that in previous shows, specifically about a specific person in my life who was very close to my family in my life. And there was some things I had to forgive on that one. And I felt better for that. So I feel like that's the most important thing. And when I'm reading for people, a lot of these same things come out. There's things we're holding on to, things we have to let go of. Even if we say we let it go up here, doesn't mean we let it go. It got to come from here. It has to be released from the spirit.
I think we have to overcome the flesh. We overcome the flesh. that's the basic bottom line is we overcome the flesh.
Absolutely.
Remember how you moved it and let it go? Breathe in. You breathe in the rest of life. Breathe out on the negativity or thing that don't want to be in your body. Just flush it out.
Yeah, that's what she was telling me. As we started our attunement today, she's like, breathe in the breath of life. And every breath that you breathe out, you're releasing all things that no longer serve your purpose.
Thing that don't supposed to be,
things don't belong. So we're releasing this, and it's all your breath and your intention. So I was doing that while she was starting to attune me, as she was channeling. So that's why I feel like that's something we all have to do. That's what it comes back to what I told people. Your meditation was going to look different than my meditation and Joe's and whatever that may look like. You can even take a walk. It doesn't mean you have to sit there and cross-legged and, it's not that. It's just whatever you feel resonates with your soul, calming the mind, bringing the spirit in alignment with the body. That's what then that's when you're in alignment. See, my light is bright now. Once you're in alignment, that means everything just flows through you, because we block ourselves. That's a true story. We have blocks, and she said energetic blocks, things from previous traumas, previous past lives, energies that are attached to you from other things, because interactions you have with people throughout your day. It's always a constant battle. Like I said, you got to be very vigilant on what you allow into your energetic field.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been telling people for a long time. So we're at about 1:55. I don't want to jump off yet until Dennis comes back so we can kind of close out. But as you guys know, I really appreciate you guys all coming on. And you're right there, Chuck. The cards do jump out when I'm doing readings, and there's a reason why they jumped out. They jump out because there's a reason. It says, hey, energetically, you need to see this one, because that's always the first card I lay out. If it jumps out at me, or if it's 2 or 3, those are my first cards I pull automatically. So there's a reason why they come out.
Yeah.
So. But the breathing, it comes down to the breathing. And that's like when I do my healings, I'm here. I always do healings on our channels for everybody. And when I do, first thing we do is I say, slow your breathing down. Close your eyes. Bring in something that brings joy to your heart. Slow your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we kind of work through that. So we're slowing our breathing down. Then we start to visualize bringing in the light around us that we've given away. So then we kind of do the healing, and that's how I do it. And it's been, honestly, I feel like it's been amazing for me, because I feel I heal more because I want to heal others. So I have to keep my energetic field high to help others. And I don't know. I know Joe's same thing. Interactions, even the people that email and call him and text him all the time, same thing. That's his way of healing. It doesn't mean that he just did an energy healing, but he's healing you with his energy.
And they in turn help me. That's just it. I get something out of everyone. It could be a lesson. It could just be a moment. But it's just the energy connecting. It's healing. It brings balance.
We all had a healing energy, like see when a child crying, upsetting. So what the mom do? She would come and hug them and comfort it and feel better. Like even husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, and one of you get upset, the other one come and hug you and comfort you, and you feel better. You know what I'm saying? That's a form of healing too. But you go to further, then you need to learn how to do,
So
more.
Thank you so much for bringing Min on tonight. Is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Pleasure meeting you.
Let me teach you. Can I offer something to this?
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
The first time I'm here, thank you for every comment and watch us. And this is I'm offering to you totally free. See, every day I send energy out there. I channel the energy and I send out there every day. One of my students, she said, "Did you send twice today?" I said, "Yeah." Well, she could feel it because she very gifted too. But I send it out there every day. So just let you know, if any of you listen to this and you want to receive some healing, something that you don't feel, something bother you, and you can sit down on the chair and put your both hand on your lap.
Yeah.
Your hand, your palm up, because that you receive the energy, and you just say your name. My name is blah, 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 and just say, I intend and ready to receive the good energy from Min Chao. That's all you have to say. It's not for me, but since you don't know how to channel the energy, I channel for you and I send it out there. You will receive it.
Yeah.
And
So
let me know how you feel. You can receive every day. I send out there every day, or every time during the day, and you feel that you need it, you can do it again because
yes.
they're out there for you, totally free.
So that's what it is. This I'm open and ready to receive the energy that Min Chao.
The good energy from
Good
Min Chao.
energy.
That's all
Yeah.
you have to say.
Yeah.
And that's very simple.
Yeah, she does. She sends it to, and she always tells me the same thing. And she even asked me to send her energy when she was coming here to my place.
Yeah, because
So
we exchange energy, and so
no, that's awesome. So that she's just offering that to you guys. So she's going to put it out. It's open every day. It's available, so it's infinite. So she wants you to know she's going to channel all those energies. So anytime, Min Chao is her name. For all of you who are listening, if you want, I'm open and ready to receive the good energy from Min Chao. And you'll receive it. So she's channeling for you. So it's just an extra way of her to kind of help boost you along. And I'm telling you, it's very, very good energy. And I'm telling you guys, you'll get to know her. That I'm telling you, she energetically, she's special like we all are, but she's helped me so much. And I can only tangibly tell you from my own experiences. And I feel like that's something that spirits tell me right now, even it's good. You need to get this information out, get her out there to help others, because I feel she's going to help a lot of you unblock some of these things. I feel a lot of it. And I don't know why. She's very, very powerful when it comes to energy. And if you were in an attunement with her in person, wait till that happens. That'll happen someday, I feel.
Actually, that energy flow through me and given to me, and I will, attune and give you the same thing they gave it to me, and you will be doing what I'm doing. So I don't get any better than you do, so you do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we all do the good energy together, and hopefully one day we can have a peace and love and compassion and understanding each other.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful world to live in, right?
Oh, it's the world I want to live in. It's exactly right. So
we work on it.
Before we go, I'll do a healing, but is there anything you want to leave the group with, Dennis? Before we go?
Other than, I just want to say that everybody has a path to go on, and each one of us have gifts, whether we know it or not.
Right.
And maybe we get them downloaded to us and opened up at a certain time. I don't know, but we all have them. So
Absolutely.
if we begin to work on ourselves and get out of that proverbial box that we've been in and step out and just leave everything that we've learned before out in the past and travel down that new road, I think we're all going to be a whole lot better than what we are.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Well
Amen.
Said, my friend. Well said,
Well
my friend.
said.
How about you, Mr. J? Anything you want to leave the group with before we do our healing?
No, just good show. Thanks for everyone for coming in. I mean, we definitely bring something a little more different in many cases. It really is about each other, just
Absolutely.
Love you guys.
Love you too,
Thank you.
man.
Love you guys too. Thank you so much. See you again, hopefully.
Absolutely. So I feel you'll be seeing Min Chao a lot more. I promise you.
She should be a regular if you want.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. She might act so. I feel she's going to be moving with us for some time, me and my wife. So I feel like there's something that Spirit's told me. My wife mentioned this to me. Funny thing, this is how Spirit works, okay? I'm in the bathroom this morning. I'm getting ready to jump in the shower. My wife's in the bathtub. And I mentioned Min Chao's name. And she says, "Where is she staying?" I said, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, tell her if she needs somewhere to stay, she can stay here." I'm like, I was just thinking that same exact thing in my mind when you said it out loud. I text her and she told me she was living in a hotel. And I said, I told my wife, she goes, "No, have her come. She can come stay with us." So I feel like she's going to be staying with us. And honestly, the Spirit just literally pulled. And she said, "You made me cry because you're so generous." And I'm like, it's not, I'm always that way. I give my heart to people, and unfortunately, I've been smashed a lot of times, and that's just me. I'm not going to change who I am. I know that the good that I do, I know it's going to come back to me. I'm not asking for that, but I know it's going to come back to me in beautiful ways. So, and I'm always very thankful for all of you guys that come here. And I know we're a growing group. I know there's other people that are also on watching now and other channels. That's okay. I feel like we're going to start to gain some more people that are energetically or that need to come to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. I feel like that's why we're coming together, is to heal, and no other reason. So with those final words, I would like to kind of do an energy healing with my teacher as well. So what I want you guys to do, if you want, you can grab your Palo Santo, your whatever you want, your candles. You don't need those. It's all about your intentions. Okay. So if you don't need those, what we're going to do then, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes.
Hand on your lap.
And put your hands on your lap. Yeah.
Face up so you can receive the energy.
You can put your hands palms up to the sky.
Yeah.
And I want you to slowly calm your mind. And I want you to slow your breathing down. And I want you to breathe in the breath of life 2 to 3 seconds. And I want you to breathe out slowly 2 to 3 seconds. And every breath out, you release things that do not belong, and releasing all things that no longer serve your purpose. So we're slowing our breathing down. The breath of life in, releasing all things that no longer serve its purpose. Now, what I want you to do as we calm our mind, I want you to visualize all this beautiful white light surrounding you. That is light you've given away. And I want you to bring in to your heart a memory, an interaction, or something that brings a smile to your face every time you think of it. And I want you to open your heart. And as we pull this energy in, this white light energy around us, I want you to visualize in your mind's eye that this is coming in through the top of your head. This energy is flowing in through the bottom of your feet. And this energy is flowing in through your heart. And as this energy fills you, I want you to, this energy is going to renew you. It's going to heal you. This energy is you. This is divine energy. And I want you to, with that beautiful open heart and that smile and that love in your heart, I want you to push out that energy back to the universe or whoever you'd like to share this energy with. And whatever affirmations you want to say, you're able to do that now. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am divine. I am healing. I am healed. I am worthy. I am forgiven. I am loved. And I am whole. I am no longer affected by things of my past. I am ascending. And I am the divine light that God always meant me to be. So be it. And so it is.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I got tingles on my face right now. So good. Guys, thank you guys once again for tuning in. If you guys celebrate Christmas, it's the spirit of love for you, no matter what we know it is. But I'm wishing you guys all, however you celebrate, whatever you call it, light and love to you guys. I want you guys to know that I'm sending you energy out as well, like I always do in dragons. And I got all my dragons from Min Chao. So it's been pretty awesome. So I want you guys to know that this is something that I feel we're going to grow and grow and grow. And I'm very proud of you all for continuing to move on this journey together. We're not alone. We're part of a whole. So continue to push, to grow, to heal. And soon we're going to expand and help to heal others through your actions now. So thank you guys. I love you all. SOULdier of light out.
Good night, all.
Night, guys.
Good night.